Welcome, everyone, to another podcast episode of Nerdstrodamus. I'm Dr. Pants.
Lambo.
I'm Punk.
And it's a little early for a podcast for us, but we just had the PS5, reveal. I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
Because
I can see it.
you can, but the people at home cannot. And I only
But they
say that
felt
because they revealed a lot, except for some key things, but we'll get to that. We all watched it. I know Lambo watched it because I was with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched it. I mean,
Yeah.
I watched it later because I was busy, but I still watched it.
We were getting sad texts from you.
Yeah.
Like, the first part. Like, I can't see it. I'm at home.
Everyone's messaging, and I keep looking by accident. I'm just like, oh, don't tell me.
But Lambo, you and I did a video. We talked about our top 5 favorite games that got announced for it, and we did a little bit of discussion on it. But let's actually talk about the presentation and our real feelings about this.
Yeah, and since we're pretty much all Sony PlayStation fans, we might as well do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's start with how the presentation began. With a big announcement I wasn't expecting.
I don't think anyone was expecting this.
Apparently, GTA 5 is going to be on PlayStation 5, and it's free for PS4 owners, or is it just going to be free in general?
I don't think they talked about upgrading. I think the PlayStation Online, the GTA Online, is going to be free standalone.
Okay.
But they're re-releasing the actual single-player campaign of GTA 5 with updated enhancements and stuff like that, and more story content. But they're re-releasing it. It's going to be the next Skyrim.
It's worse. I think it's worse because I feel like since it launched, they haven't actually done any specific upgrades for the console versions that get re-released. It's just here's GTA 5 again.
Yeah.
Whereas Skyrim, at least they were like, here's
Well,
Skyrim, the enhanced edition.
Well, listen, for PlayStation 4, and Xbox One when they re-released it, we got a first-person mode.
That wasn't standard on the original version?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually didn't play the original version that much. I really got into it on PS4. So.
Yeah.
But
No, but this is the kicker. This is what really grinds my gears.
I said it!
It's not a launch title.
No, it's not even coming out at launch. It's coming out.
Next year.
Yeah.
Hey, but the longer it takes to come out, the more money we get.
Yeah, because they're giving $1 million to current players every month until it launches on PS5, which is great because now we can finally afford the arcade.
That's it. That's it. That's all you're going to be able to afford.
I mean, I bought an Arena Workshop because they also went on discount. So it cost
Really?
It cost me $450,000. It was like half off.
I bought that
a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
So let's talk about this though, because we're waiting for this big presentation on the PS5 because we have gotten nothing really except for that tech explanation a month or no
Explanation.
Yeah.
which was the most boring thing I've ever watched.
I think that was just a calculated miss. I feel like they did that to make the guy who did the presentation feel better about himself.
Yeah.
It's Kevin. I forget what his name was.
I mean, for some people, it was really interesting. For people that were really interested, for people who are really interested in the specs and hardware and stuff like that, they went in depth about the sounds and audio for it, which I was like, oh, cool. They're actually taking this in consideration. Blah 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 blah.
No, it wasn't a terrible idea, but I think they should have better prepared people who were going to sit down and watch it because that's not what I was expecting going into it.
Yeah.
No.
But onto this presentation, I think showing GTA 5 as the very first thing was not a great way to start the presentation. Well, you can look at it and be like, well, we can only go up from here. I feel like it's I was super excited, and then I was like, what?
It was something that should have been saved for maybe the middle or even the end. Everything's over and hey, guess what? Rockstar fans, look at this.
No, we got a big full trailer the game's brand new.
Yeah, and at first, during the first 5 seconds when we just see things before we see, I think it's Michael was the first character they showed, we're like, oh man, are they announcing GTA 6?
Right.
And then, no, it's just GTA 5 again. So,
I mean, we are in that age of games are just kind of last in the public consciousness for a while. A lot longer than they used to.
Well, they either last, for eternity, or they're there for a blink and then they're gone.
It all depends on whether you can build a community around a game.
It's true.
And people have been requesting single player stuff forever for GTA 5.
Yeah.
And they've said like, oh yeah, we're going to come out with it, and they never did. Were they waiting for the PS5 to come out?
Yeah. Slotad has, of course, given us notes and says, and I quote, "Leading with GTA 5 was also the dumbest thing." So that's his thought on that.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, we're all GTA 5 players, so we all, if we get the PS5, are we going to download GTA 5 online on there?
Yeah.
The fact that the online is actually a free standalone is really awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then also them giving us money every month means we're going to be able to transfer everything.
Yeah. So
which is fantastic.
Finally, we can be the ones on the hover bikes and the flying cars and the tanks just wrecking everyone.
Don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, they'll probably have something else by then, and we'll be like, oh, well,
and they're just gonna give.
They're gonna have
stuff.
mechs.
Yes, yes. I love robots. So let's move on to something maybe newer. This was a discussion topic, and of course the Nerdstrodamus group chat. But let's talk about the new Spider-Man game, Miles Morales. What do we think?
What?
We just keep hearing different things about it. I think until we see exactly what it is, then we'll have a good idea.
Like my impression, though, I think Pants, you and I had like the same impression. It's pretty much the same thing that Sucker Punch did with Infamous Second Son. They had the game out and everything like that, and they released a standalone, like DLC expansion type of thing.
That was its own.
Yeah, it was like a 5-6 hour.
But it was its own self-enclosed story.
It was literally the same area, probably some of the same enemies and stuff like that. You had new powers, and they probably updated some of the story and different new enemies and everything. Yeah. But it was just the same area, like it was an expansion to the original game.
Yeah, and when we first saw this, we didn't know what it was. But in the reaction video, I said to Lambo, I'm like, I'm not sure if this is going to be like a standalone game. Is it a sequel or is it just an expansion? And then like the next day I found an article on Push Square that said from some Sony exec that they were bundling it with like an upgraded version of the 2018 Spider-Man game. And it was like adding on an expansion.
Yeah, Insomniac Games tweet reads, Spider-Man Miles Morales is the next adventure in the Marvel Spider-Man universe. We will reveal more about this standalone game at a future date.
Which
yeah, right?
I was just like, okay, so I read one thing that said it was coming with an upgrade version of Spider-Man, and then they came out and said standalone.
Which, why can't it be both?
Right. And
I think that's how Infamous First Light came out. I think you can get it bundled with the standalone, I mean, the game itself, the Second Son.
Right.
Or you can buy it for like $15-20.
Yeah. And, it's not a bad
I see
idea.
it being more like a $40 one of those.
It depends. It depends. It could be like a $40 thing depending on how long it is. But I imagine they're going to release like a definitive edition of Spider-Man that's going to come with the base game, all the DLC, and Miles Morales for PS5, and that'll be like a full $60
I definitely think it's important to start with Spider-Man because when they first were talking about the PlayStation 5's capabilities, the tech demo was sort of like Spider-Man loading in 5 seconds, or like half a second.
Right. Yeah, they use that game as kind of like a benchmark.
So for the people, they have the backwards compatibility with the PS5. Wow, I cannot talk right now. So they have all the backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 5.
Right.
So the people that have Spider-Man, what do we get? If they're re-releasing it, like updated and everything like that, can we play it on the PS5? Our copy?
So I'm assuming this is why we're hearing that Miles Morales is a standalone game for people who already have it.
Right.
Because everything I've read about the backwards compatibility for the PS5 is if you put a PS4 game in there, it'll upgrade it. Kind of, Lambo, you were saying it's like getting a new PC and playing an older game.
Yeah, or the PS4 Pro at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna enhance it. So I think that's why we're hearing two different things about this. I bet they will release a bundled version for people who didn't get Spider-Man.
Right.
And then there's a standalone one for people who already have the game and don't need to buy the whole thing again because we're already going to get the enhanced version.
Right. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Because I have Spider-Man 2018. I have all the DLC for it. So I really don't need to spend $60 to get it again, but I would love to play the Miles Morales thing. So This, of course, I want to bring this up because we're talking about the backwards compatibility. Slotad, the last thing he messaged us was he was surprised not to see any Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima will have an upgraded version released for PS5. I'm not surprised we didn't see that because they've been talking about the backwards compatibility and how it's going to enhance the games.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason to release 2 versions of the game then, because you can just buy the PS4 version and play it on the PS5. And you better believe that the first few games that are going to be backwards compatible in that 100 are going to be a lot of their newer big releases.
Yeah.
So
Like I imagine I'll be finishing Cyberpunk on my PS5.
yeah,
Right.
That kind of thing.
I imagine so too. Are we going to get Miles Morales Spider-Man? Because I mean, I am.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I will.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a believer in that high quality single player PlayStation game thing that they got going on.
And Spider-Man was just fantastic.
Oh yeah, it was
that and like God of War and like everything in that kind of style with that level of quality. I'm digging.
Which is a good segue into the next 2 that we should talk about, which was Sony single player experiences. We got Ratchet and Clank ripped apart. That trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
That's like one of the most exciting looking games.
I was a huge Ratchet and Clank fan back in the day. I loved Ratchet and Clank.
I played and beat the first one on PS2. I really enjoyed it, but then I kind of missed out on all the others. I have the PS4 one because of PS Plus, but I haven't played it yet. But that trailer, that whole like portal hopping thing, and it was just seamless.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was cinematic at first, and then it started going into like gameplay and everything, and it was still seamless.
Yeah, and actually I have a theory about the other Ratchet and Clank for PS4. When did that come out?
That was like three years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
I have a
Something like
theory that maybe that was the company testing the waters to see if people will be still interested in Ratchet and Clank before they release a new title.
It was 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it was them testing the waters.
Yeah, because
That game, it wasn't really that good.
really
It was Ratchet and Clank.
Oh.
So it was fun, but it was like a retelling
of the first game, wasn't it?
of the movie, which is a retelling of the first game.
Oh, so we're like 3 degrees of the original.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my first Ratchet and Clank experience. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I did think it was a little almost too cinematic feeling. Where I'm sure in the original it's a lot more gamey with a lot more.
Yeah.
But I still thought it was a quality product that and it was my first one ever. So
The original, because you played this, like you played Jack and Daxter, right?
Yeah.
You know how there's like little cutscenes in that, but it's mostly game. The original Ratchet and Clank feels the same way.
yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, the whole rift jumping thing, and then using the rifts as like part of the puzzle solving and like action, that was really, really cool.
Yeah, like they were just like in the middle of a fight, and all of a sudden one popped up, and he's just like pulled it, but it like he was
Pulled
pulling
him?
himself towards it, so he had like everyone was like all the enemies were like confused, like he's right there now.
The perspective was weird because it
Yeah.
looked like you were pulling it towards yourself,
Right.
But you were pulling.
You're pulling the world
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird, but it looks really, really cool. And of course,
I can imagine a boss fight. Like
oh yeah,
giant thing with multiple arms, and you like pull one through one of the rifts, and like it'd be super cool.
I could see that whole mechanic evolving through the game. Like you learn new ways to use it, and that's going to incorporate into every boss fight.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see how, because with a lot of the Ratchet and Clanks, I like going back to the old worlds, getting all the items, all the golden bolts and nuts and stuff like that. I'm really excited to see like how they're using the rifts to incorporate actually collecting, and how am I going to go back into these other worlds? Because there was a scene in the trailer where Clank got deposited, like, I don't know, in some kind of weird future, and it looked like a female.
Lomax.
Yeah, Lomax popped up.
Yeah. Which the internet went crazy.
Almost as bad as Bowsette, right?
Yeah. Be careful. Be careful when you go on Twitter.
Yeah. Don't even like look up images of like the system.
No.
What is wrong with the internet?
No.
Like, we'll talk about what the system looks like towards the end, but man, oh man, like they waifu'd it. It was within an hour. There was waifu images. I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? I know, like these times have been tough and you're stuck at home, but my God.
So it was like they're like ready, pen in hand, just like there it is. Upload.
My ticket to fame.
Unfortunately, it can't be a ticket to fame because there were 50 billion of them.
Yeah.
But The female Lomax, Slotad made a prediction that it was going to be Ratchet. And Clank's name is Ratchet. Yeah, he's guessing that his name. I don't think that's how they're going to do that.
No, because even like in the trailer, he was like Ratchet, and the female comes up and he's like, who?
Yeah, who? Also doesn't look quite like Ratchet because it's different fur color and everything.
Yeah, so it's not just like a female version.
Right.
Maybe it's Ratchet's daughter.
Maybe. Did you notice the robot arm on her too?
No.
Yeah, she has a mechanical arm.
Oh.
So that if I'm assuming we're gonna get a section where we play as her with Clank,
yeah,
and that might also unlock some cool puzzle solving
right.
and combat mechanics. But that looks really cool. I don't know if I'm gonna be a day one buyer. I might have to go play the PS4 one just to kind of get my feet wet in Ratchet and Clank again, and see if I'm up for it. But
I dug it quite a bit.
I enjoyed the original one. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love the original Ratchet and Clanks. I never played Jak and Daxter, so Ratchet and Clank was my version to play through.
Jak and Daxter was a very traditional kind of
yeah, it was a little
3D
more
platform.
open worldy,
right?
It was a little bit more like Mario 64.
Yeah, whereas Ratchet and Clank was way more focused on like open levels,
right,
and weapons.
Yeah.
And just crazy weapons.
Oh my god, like the disco grenades and stuff like that. Well, it was like a cow gun or something, or a chicken gun.
Yeah. Well, it
It's
depended
fun
on which
stuff.
game, because I think there was a sheep gun, a chicken gun, and
Yeah.
a cow one at some point.
There was awesome weapons in that game.
I'm also a little disappointed they didn't go with like some kind of like almost on the edge of dirty pun, like they used to do, like
Yeah,
going commando, up your arsenal.
I mean,
quest for booty.
I mean, rift apart.
I don't.
That's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Uh,
a crack in time.
Yeah.
Like
if you have any dirty puns for the
no. Family channel. Family channel.
Fill those comments with dirty puns. Do it now.
Oh boy. Let's talk about another first party big announcement though.
Well, do we want to go with that one, or we want to talk about everything else and go with the last?
Oh, we can do that.
I just figured go in the order of like the.
I don't remember what the order was.
Or I mean, like, it doesn't matter. I was just kind of.
No, it's fine. I'm trying to think of like what the other ones were because we also got Gran Turismo 7.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And it was one of the first one we really noticed like the ray tracing effects and stuff really showing up.
It was very beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was a great looking game.
Yeah.
It pumps
better
the
than
real.
Forza Horizon.
Yeah, it pumps the realism up like another level.
Mm-hmm.
On a game that kind of always looked like really good and
Yeah.
realistic.
Which that's my problem with the game. I am not a realistic racer fan.
Mm.
So while I'm like, oh, this looks really nice, I am not going to touch that game with like a 10-foot pole because I will be terrible at it. It'll be a waste of money for me.
Yeah.
But for any Gran Turismo fans out there, like I'm really happy for you because, man, oh man, like PS1 to PS2 era, got Gran Turismo 1 through 4. It was real quick. And then 5 took forever on PS3. And then I didn't even know 6 came out.
Yeah.
Like, I was just not aware.
It was really big. I mean, they have like tournaments and stuff like that going on, which is crazy.
Yeah, but it was a PS4 game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know it was a thing.
I think 6 was. Yeah, it had to been, of course.
I was really impressed in the trailer, though, the first person driving, like them showing that off and how realistic that looked and like the detailing on the interior and on the gloves and whatnot. It just... I knew this console generation wasn't going to be a big leap in graphics. Not like, back in the day when we were younger, like seeing that kind of stuff. But it is still impressive to see the amount of detail that is going into these games now.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a lot more than we're not seeing because I think the games can only do so much, but I think the hardware is there for like very advanced graphics and everything.
Well, and that's how consoles typically go too. It's like the beginning is, oh, this is really cool, but it's at the end that you really see the impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Because think about like the first couple PS4 games and how they look. Yeah, they look good. But then think of something like Horizon Zero Dawn and how good that game looks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm impressed with how good the faces look in that game.
Yeah.
The hair still looks like garbage. Can we get some good-looking hair? Final Fantasy 13 did it. Sorry.
It's all good.
It's a pet peeve of mine.
Whatever.
It's all good.
Yeah. We got Demon Souls being remade. It's a remake.
I don't really.
I was impressed to see that because like everybody, everybody's so up and ready for Dark Souls and like that was their thing, like they're Souls gamers. But then I know there's Dark Souls fans out there and I'm like, well, did you play Demon Souls? And they're like, no. So it's like this is a nice way to kind of keep going with Dark Souls in its own way, but bring back that exclusive Demon Souls game.
Right.
There's Ghostwire Tokyo,
which we saw before, and I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, and they showed a little bit more of it, and I was like, that's kind of interesting
actually
looking.
it looks cooler this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of we talked about this in the reaction video that never got posted.
Yeah.
No, it's no problem. It's just it's for the best
Uh-huh.
because now we can do stuff like this.
Yeah.
I like the whole more modern city and the weird Japanese kind of horror to it, because unlike a lot of American horror where it's a lot of jump scares and everything,
Right.
this is just creepy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it was just weird, unsettling, and I kind of love that, especially since we haven't gotten a new Silent Hill game.
Yeah, a lot of people actually were expecting that we were going to get a new Silent Hill, but they never showed anything, so I don't know.
Because there's nothing but rumors. I don't think
Yeah.
they've officially come out and said, hey, we are doing a new Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm.
There's been rumors and a little blurb here and there from Konami
Yeah.
and stuff, but
You would think with like how much love Resident Evil is getting right now, Evil Within was kind of similar in those aspects too, and that's an amazing game. That something like Silent Hill would kind of resurface a little bit.
yeah. Same studio is doing Ghostwire, right? They did Evil Within? I think.
I mean, Bethesda published both games. But
Yeah.
I think it's the same team, because I think when they first announced it back at that E3,
Maybe, yeah.
I think they said it was from
Yeah, it's like Tango Gameworks. Are those the guys?
I have no idea.
Hmm.
Speaking of Resident Evil, we got Resident Evil Village. Or
Yeah,
Village
I wasn't
Resident-
expecting that with the trailer.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this looks really cool. Wow. Yeah.
It's a sequel to Pig Machine. Yeah.
Machine for pigs.
I know.
The thing is like we went through a bunch of different phases during the trailer where at first we're like, is this Resident Evil 8? And then it went gothic and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, maybe it's something different. And then we went back to Resident Evil 8. It's like, or is this something different? And then I think it's like some little medallion had an umbrella logo right
Yeah.
there.
We were like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
I'm like, was that? No.
Yeah.
It was looked like there was like a werewolf or something going on.
Listen, after Resident Evil 7, like I think all bets are off because 7 felt like a weird departure for the series.
7 wasn't zombies.
No.
No.
But when was the last time Resident Evil was zombies? Because even 4 wasn't. No, it wasn't zombies.
Las Placas.
Yeah, it was like it was a weird parasite.
Yeah.
That, like morphed the body. Like that's what 4 was because 4 didn't have zombies.
Yeah, it was the parasite in 4, and then wasn't 5. They had like that weird bioweapon going on.
They took Las Plagas and morphed it into a bioweapon, and then that's kind of like what kept going in 6.
Yeah.
So it's not a virus anymore. It's not like dead people reanimating. It was like a parasite taking over the body, like in that anime, Parasite. Very similar, by the way. I realize.
And what happened to Chris?
He has seen some things, man. Like I have no idea what happened to Chris.
I mean, spoilers. He does like show up at the end of 7.
Is it really spoilers? That game's been out for like...
Yeah, I know.
Listen,
Which was really cool. I mean, it didn't look like Chris at first.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing like super boulder punching Chris in Resident Evil 5.
what happened to his hair? That's actually what bothered me the most. His haircut in that trailer for 8 is just. Ugh.
And he just looked really weird. And I don't know. The main character was even like, hey, don't, what are you doing? And Chris was like, I have to. And he started shooting somebody. Yeah. And I was like, what's going on?
It looked really, really cool,
Yeah.
though. It looked really nice. I like the gothic setting, like that castle, because it's kind of reminiscent of the mansion in the first game.
Yep.
And I'm hoping we're going to get like some really cool, diverse areas. And it's still sticking with that first-person horror aspect, which looks.
Yeah, that's 7 just it revolutionized it.
Oh, yeah.
It was good. It was what it needed really badly.
Yeah. So that's really exciting. I don't think that was a holiday 2020 release though.
No.
That's going to be 2021 at the earliest.
Oh, yeah.
But that's okay.
But I'm hoping for some VR, compatibility.
I'm going to talk about that
Yeah.
VR stuff at the end.
Yeah, I was going to say we
Yeah.
need to talk about that too.
But what else was in the show, really? I mean, they showed
Bug
up
snacks.
Bug snacks. Oh my god. I had no
I
idea.
love
what
stupid
it
platformers, and it's
They sold me on it because it was just funny, and the mechanic was interesting and like could be used. Like I want to see how they use it because by the people who made Octodad, and we know Octodad is really inventive and
Yes.
crazy. My only hope is I hope it's a longer game than Octodad, because that's a short game. But the idea of like eating these different animals shaped like food and like turning your body into different food bits.
Oh, like that hero in My Hero Academia.
Sun Eater?
Something like that.
I
I forget his name.
I think his hero name is Sun Eater. I do not remember what his real name is.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of like that. Except rather than turning into the animals you eat, you turn into the food you eat. So like if you eat hot dogs, bam, wiener hands. And that was in the trailer. And that's why the camp burned down. Slotad said it was a sleeper hit for him. Like that was not what he was expecting, and he's like down for it. I'm down for it.
I'm super down. Yeah.
Do you guys expect that to be a full release, by the way, or do you think it's gonna be like Octodad, where it's
I
gonna
think
be
like Octodad.
like a $20-$30 download, maybe?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't think it's got the. I mean, at least from a PlayStation kind of perspective, you know, when you look and see what they got going on, it doesn't.
It didn't have the production behind it as like a lot of those first.
It wasn't quite as refined. Some other things they announced, and you guys can kind of throw some things out there. There was Goodbye Volcano High.
Oh yeah, that looked interesting. They didn't really show anything except for like a little story trailer, but
a lot of people are speculating that it's going to be very similar to like Life is Strange, where it's kind of like just an adventure game.
Yeah.
I love hand-drawn visuals like that in games because they look like a cartoon anymore
that
you can interact with, and it's dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna check that out. I think that could be really cool. Plus, I like a good adventure, like visual novel adventure game.
Yeah, and then there were like a bunch that were kind of seemed. And maybe I'm just pushing, you know, that they kind of looked a little similar in that they were like a big like crazy adventure game. There was like Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Oh, was that the one that looked like Overworld? Overlord. Like you had like a bunch of little minions you kind of like told to do stuff.
I don't remember.
That might have been that one. Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about because I actually said, "Oh, it looks like Legend of Zelda crossed with Pikmin," which is I forgot Overlord was a thing.
Yeah,
it was a game. Actually, when you said it, I thought the animated version.
There's Jet the Far Shore. There's Solar Ash, The Pathless.
There was those two games where pretty much the same plot.
Yeah,
Returnal and Deathloop.
But Deathloop we saw at an E3 before, and I'm still like okay with that. That looks
that
cool.
was actually looks pretty cool. I like the style and everything like that. Returnal,
which is both the best and worst name ever.
I'm sitting on the side of bad.
I can't
The
decide.
game looks cool, but yeah.
Returnal looks cool because there's that whole like death rebirth thing, and I said, oh, it's kind of like all you need is kill, but way more serious.
Yeah.
There was the other weird sci-fi game that reminded me kind of Death Stranding with the moon and like
the new Capcom one, isn't it?
Is that the new Capcom one?
Something where they go. Yeah, I don't remember. I thought it was going to be a new Death Stranding because it is.
Oh, Pragmata.
Yeah. No, I thought it looked very similar to Death Stranding.
Yeah,
but that looks cool too.
Yeah, interesting.
But I said this while we were watching it. Like, if you give me a weird style sci-fi game, like I am down for it. Like at some point I have to play Death Stranding because it's weird sci-fi and I gotta know. But Returnal, Pragmata looks really cool.
There was the new Twisted Metal, but for everybody.
Destruction All-Stars?
Yeah.
That looks fun.
It does, but just give me Twisted Metal.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of with you on that because like we haven't had a car combat game, like a dedicated car combat game in a while.
A good one.
Yeah.
A good one. You're right.
Yeah.
And this has the potential to be cool. It's just it kind of reminded me of if you took Fortnite and crossed it with Twisted Metal. That's what we got with this. But it could be a lot of fun.
But that's how you update it, unfortunately, for now.
Yeah, I know.
He has to have the wacky, like, characters for everybody to get behind.
Darn kids ruining my Twisted Metals!
They'll probably have, like, a Battle Royale mode where you're just, like, in this open city map and you're just going into, like, a garage to get, like, weapon parts. And
if they don't do that, they missed an opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
And on the PlayStation blog, they actually set a lot of these games into, like, an indies and then, like, a, you know...
Oh, okay.
A full thing. And so, like, all of these games that we've been talking about here, Solar Ash, Stray, Oddworld, Soulstorm.
Yeah, Oddworld.
And including Bugsnax are all considered indies.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, the Oddworld one was weird because I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, are we getting a remake? Is this a new one?
No, it looks new.
No, it is.
Did anyone else get the feeling that we're getting back into PlayStation 2? Ratchet & Clank, Spider-Man, that the Death car game we just talked about was like Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
it's just like games that we played before, but we're getting new updated versions.
Kinda, yeah.
In a way.
And we're going a lot more towards like the single player adventure games like
Yeah.
the PlayStation 2 had in spades.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
did they really show any like multiplayer
No.
stuff?
Absolutely.
Destruction
not.
All-Stars?
Just Destruction All Stars, but we're only assuming.
Yeah, and there wasn't really
If that's-
anything and there wasn't really anything co-op too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I gotta
weird.
think about it, I guess. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
Weird.
Huh. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of what I want because I love single player games. I love single player and couch co-op.
Which, yeah, PS4 I think was actually really focused on those multiplayer games, playing online with your friends and everything like that.
It wasn't until like the second half of it when we started getting those big PlayStation titles
Yep.
that were single player experiences with no real multiplayer to it.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're continuing with it because
And they tended to be the bigger blockbusters, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think multiplayer games are things that have a slow burn that like you get a ton of people playing over a long period of time. But like when the games were coming out that we were talking about, like God of War and Spider-Man and Uncharted and stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So here's actually, this goes back to what we were talking about with like games lasting either forever or they're a blip on the radar.
Right.
The multiplayer ones are the ones that have to last forever because you don't have to spend a lot of money to develop a new one. You just keep updating the old one. And in all honesty, I could see them just doing that because with the backwards compatibility, you could see something like Rainbow Six Siege just not coming out with a new one, just continuing seasons onto the PS5 and updating the visuals and everything. GTA is doing the same thing, another big one. And Lord knows, you think Fortnite's going to run on the PS5? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're going to see things like that. And the only big new releases we're going to see are going to be a lot of single-player games. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm wondering what's going to happen with Call of Duty because if their whole... Is it Warzone? Is that the...
Warzone. Yeah.
I'm wondering if that keeps going, how that's going to affect like the releases for Call of
the
Duty.
normal game. Yeah.
I don't know if we really want to talk about it right now, but I've read an article about the new Call of Duty is supposed to be re-releasing like a Blackout, which they had their Battle Royale for Black Ops. It's supposed to be part of Warzone. So their Blackout was a little bit more... I guess, I don't know if they can really say faster or something like that. I mean, you had a grappling hook and stuff like that. The weapon's a little bit different. So there were kind of two different paths of a Call of Duty gameplay. So I think playing either of them, like having them together, was kind of fun. Yeah, I guess a smart move.
Yeah, and I think that might be where we see a lot of these multiplayer games go, and that's why we're not seeing a lot of new announcements for it.
Because like so you have to you have to build a community around a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
there have to be people who want to keep like. I mean, we had a Valorant release this month.
Yeah,
and it like there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of like I've seen just stuff everywhere, and then like when it came out, I remember I saw a few things say that it didn't sell as well as they wanted it to.
See, and that's weird for me because I've seen a lot of people talking about it, but it might be just the people I follow on Twitter.
Yeah,
but it also might be part of that like hype storm that was trying to.
Yeah,
it might be
trying to build.
It might be.
You know.
And
there was really nothing else. Insert Zach screaming here.
Yeah, you mean Slotad?
Yeah.
You can cut that.
Yeah, so let's talk about the other game that Lambo and I did not talk about in our video.
Yeah, which I was really surprised.
I think it's because, well, I did play it a little bit, but I never finished it. Lambo, did you finish it?
What?
Horizon.
No.
we didn't finish it, and while we liked it, it's not like a big deal for us. I think if it had been a new God of War, it would have been a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Now that might change because I'm playing through Horizon again.
Yeah.
My whole perspective might change, but we got Horizon 2. Sorry, I did not notice the 2. Can you at least understand why I didn't see the 2?
So if anyone's wondering, Pants mentioned we got no numbered games. When clearly, when they showed the image for Horizon 2, there was a Roman numeral 2.
That's like only a couple pixels high, and it's buried in the line between Horizon and the subtitle.
There was also Gran Turismo 7, but
true.
And Resident Evil 8.
Huh. Except hold on, it's nowhere listed officially as Resident Evil 8. It's just Resident Evil Village, and like they're doing that same thing with Resident Evil 7, where it's hidden in there. Anyway,
yeah.
But So we got Horizon. Oh crap! What's it called? It's Horizon 2.
Oh gosh.
I don't remember what the subtitle is now.
Something Western Shore or something like that.
No, Forbidden West.
Forbidden West.
Yeah, I knew
Okay.
it had West.
Okay.
It had the
Okay.
word West in it.
So
Western Union.
I mean, I'm gonna say this about it, and I don't know if this speaks for how good the game looked on PS4. It probably does. I did not think it was that much of an update to how Horizon looked in the first game.
So Slotad can scream at us all he wants. He's not here. We won't get to hear him right now.
Right.
I don't think it looked that updated either. From playing it originally when it first came out on PS4 and looking at it here, I don't know if it's because I'm looking at it on the same TV or it was streaming or something. I was just like, is this...
But then again, the PS5 is not a big a jump.
Right.
Graphically, as from PS4 to PS5 as older systems. Excuse me. And again, it might just speak for how good Horizon 1 looked.
Right.
That like the PS5 version is not going to look that much better. And it might be that when we actually get to the game and we see how good it looks like in person, we're going to see like that ray tracing, and also we're going to get the 3D audio and everything.
And the 4K.
Yeah.
And the 4K.
Yeah, and it's, like we don't even know when it's coming out. Did they even give like a year?
Nope.
So it could be, this isn't the final product.
It could be.
You know,
Right.
they could literally just be using all their textures and stuff like that from the PS4 version just to get something ready and then just start overhauling it.
Yeah. Actually, Slotad said he was disappointed that there wasn't a release window for Horizon because he thinks that's a bigger console seller than Spider-Man. I think he's wrong because Spider-Man is a recognizable name.
This is true.
And also, I believe because Miles Morales is not coming out at launch, I think they're going to coincide it with Spider-Verse 2 when that movie comes out.
No, they have it listed as holiday 2020.
Do they? I thought it was a 2021 title.
No, 2020.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind then.
No, we'll be playing it by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Which, like, I agree because I worked at a game store, of course, before, and I had people trade in their Xbox Ones just to get a PS4 just for Spider-Man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why Dad got one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've all played Spider-Man, and I'm pretty sure we've all beaten Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But Horizon Zero Dawn, if we want to include Dad, of the 5 members of Nerdstrodamus, Slotad has beaten Horizon. Did you beat Horizon, Punk?
I did not.
One person. And we have one member of Nerdstrodamus who never even played it.
So I will replay it, but not on PlayStation. It's re-releasing on PC soon, well, on Steam.
Right.
So I'm probably going to pick it up on there. It's like the complete edition.
Yeah.
And I'll play through it. Of course I will.
Yeah.
You know, but like I do agree with Slotad. It is a really good game, very innovative, you know, very interesting story and everything like that. But yeah, it won't be a console seller.
No, Horizon won't be. It's going to be a great game for people who already have the console. They're going to pick it up and enjoy this really cool single-player experience.
Right.
But I think Spider-Man, like a new Spider-Man game, is going to be a console seller. And they did that because of how much Spider-Man sold consoles for the PS4.
It's not even a full game.
No. But it also, they might be doing it this time because, I mean, Spider-Man on the PS4 came out like 2/3 of the way through the life cycle of that system.
So this could also be for those people that didn't want to transfer to another console.
Yeah.
Now we have the next generation.
And they're like, oh, I can now. And if they sell the bundle,
Right.
everybody's going to hop in on that.
Right.
By the way, because we skipped away from Horizon. I mean, are we excited for a new Horizon game?
Yeah.
I especially think because this game looks a lot more dynamic in terms of the areas and stuff you're going to be visiting.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be seeing more than just one biome essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
And it even looks like you're going to be back in the frozen lands or whatever it was called.
Frozen
What was it
Wilds.
called? The Frozen Wilds. And so it'd be really cool to. I mean, I just want to see more color and more.
And maybe that's more what the game's going to be. Is it's just going to be a much larger world.
Yeah. I hope they add more weapons and stuff like that because what else can you really do with a bow?
True. I mean, there were a lot of cool weapons in Horizon, but the main focus was the bow.
Right.
But I mean, you can do a lot with a bow. That came out at the age of the bow, where every person was using a bow. Because Hunger Games, we had Avengers with Hawkeye. I know we're more. I'm just forgetting like all of them, but it was
What?
It seemed like everybody was using a bow for some stupid. Oh, Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider focused on using
Yeah.
a bow and arrow.
What?
But anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
So was that really all of the games that really caught our eye? I think it was.
Kinda, yeah. Well, Lambo, you brought it up in our video. It was Project
Athia.
Athia
yeah.
from Square Enix, which looks cool, but
Yeah.
I can't say anything on it because I know
we don't
nothing
know.
about it.
It just looks cool.
Yeah.
And it looks more like any game that's not just like realistic, like, climbing from ledge to ledge, but still has that kind of really cool quality to it because they were kind of the kind of bamfing around and the platforming and stuff. It looks a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
I also want to bring this up, and I don't want to sound hipstery or anything.
Yeah.
But the other reason I really liked Goodbye Volcano High and Bug Snacks is they were not hyper realistic visuals.
Right.
A lot of these games now we're getting like this super hyper realistic visual style to them, and it's kind of making every game like run together in my brain. And like the ones that are standing out are the ones that have a very cool, unique style. And I'm gonna give it to Horizon because Horizon's world has a very unique style to it, so that one does stand out. But like all the other games that are out now that are coming out are kind of like washing away in my brain. So I kind of want to see them do more now that we've got like this super powerful thing. Give me more stuff like was it Project Scarlet or Scarlet Nexus?
Scarlet Nexus.
Oh yeah.
On the Xbox One, like great way to take a cell shaded anime look and make it look like a 3D anime
Right.
that moves beautifully and everything. Like I want to see not necessarily anime style, but give me something a little cartoony that can move real well like that. I want to see more things come out like that, especially with what the PS5 is capable of.
Yeah.
But I think that's my last bit on games.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about the system? What's wrong, Punk?
It's so ugly.
I love it.
But I
love it. It's
I
like
just don't know how it can lay down without hurting its little ridges.
yeah.
it's gonna come with a very unique stand that's gonna conform to the ridges.
But this is the first time we're seeing a disk drive-less PlayStation.
Yes, but not a disk driveless system.
Right.
There's an Xbox One that is
Right.
digital, so
Right.
it's nice to see Sony jumping on that. But I love the way it looks.
I think it's so weird.
It is weird, but I love it. It's just not a box. It's got curves.
You put some antennas on it. It's your router.
Listen,
I do have a feeling it's going to be weirdly big. At first, I was kind of like, "Oh, it doesn't look that."
Well, yeah, they had the controller right next to it, and you're like,
Yeah.
But, okay, hold on though, because I feel like
I think it's going to be bigger than that ugly first PlayStation 3.
no, I don't.
Oh no!
I think it's going to be thicker.
Do you remember how big that was?
Yeah, I think it's going to be thicker than
No, that thing's thick with like 3 C's.
That was a big boy.
It was. I still have it because I don't know what to do with it. I have a disc stuck in it. It yellow ringed on or it yellow lighted on me, and it's just sitting somewhere. Like, what do I do with this now? But
It's just in the corner.
but like, there's gonna be a smaller version eventually because PlayStation always does this.
A slim, yeah.
Because like, look at the PS2 and like you don't think it's that big, but compared to like the final version of the
Yeah.
PS2, that thing's tiny.
Yeah, here's a comparison somebody mocked up, and you can kind of see how it's going to be thick.
It's not gonna be thick. It's gonna be tall.
Yeah, it's gonna be big.
thick.
I don't know where I'm gonna put it.
But look at the PS3 next to it.
It's not thicker than the PS3.
It's just about.
I don't know.
That thing.
I don't know.
I also don't think it's gonna be as heavy. The original PS3 is heavy.
Oh my god, I hated those.
Yeah, but they went for a weird artistic-y look as opposed to the Xbox Series X, which is the cube.
I saw someone post
box.
online like, "What do you want? A router or a mini fridge?"
Or then you have the Switch, which is toaster.
Yeah.
So like, I mean it's all aesthetics. I kind of like it, but they showed it off.
Mm-hmm.
They showed off like the controller and the stuff it can do.
Yeah, they has the controller charge stand, which is the first time I don't think anyone's ever really showed us like a charge stand for a controller. Which whatever.
Yeah.
But
the headset,
yeah,
the remote.
yeah, which is.
Well, Sony always pushes like this is a media thing. So here's a media remote for it. And it's like
did they push that for PS4?
Not at first. There wasn't one for.
There wasn't
No.
one at first,
At
but
first.
PS3 and PS2 like
Yeah.
it
That
was
was
a
their
big
thing.
deal then. So they kind of went back to that.
and they showed a camera, which kind of looks like the console.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
all right, cool. But why?
Because it's going to use VR.
But they didn't show anything.
No, they didn't. There was nothing about VR. And like that's Sony's big thing.
And they showed an Astrobot demo.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
VR.
Oh, we forgot about this new Sackboy game.
Yeah.
Which looks cool, and I'm
Yeah.
glad they're going away from Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
And just making a platformer.
Right.
But cool.
But there was nothing VR.
No.
No.
And they talked about how like the VR headset is going to be 100% compatible with the PS5,
Right.
but yet we saw nothing about it.
But you're probably going to need to buy that new camera because the old
Probably.
camera probably will not work.
Maybe.
Maybe, but we
It
don't know.
depends. I don't know.
But why show a camera and not show something that works with the camera?
Because every PlayStation since the 2 has had a camera.
So,
For what? But then what?
but literally when they show one of those cameras, they're like, "Hey, this is what it can do." You had like the iPad or whatever other games that they got with the PS3.
It was iPlay.
iPlay, all right, whatever. The camera for PS4 came out, and like they had like the the VR stuff, but before that
camera
they
was-
had like Just Dance and all the other games like that, and
Maybe they're
using it
just
for chat.
assuming people know what it's going to be for.
I don't know what it's for.
I want them to tell
Just
me.
Dance. It's going to be for Just Dance 2021. And listen, I don't know.
Which will also come out on the PS2 and Wii.
Yeah.
Actually, I think
I don't know.
I think they stated that the last Just Dance was the last official Wii game.
Oh,
I think they said about that last time.
Maybe, I don't
I
know.
don't know. But anyways, don't show me a product and not tell me what we're going to use it for.
Okay, I have a lot of issues.
and tell me how they're gonna release it. Like, is there gonna be a giant bundle with everything?
Yeah.
So this is my issue with the end of that presentation. They spent so much time showing us games and whatnot. When we finally got to see the console, they showed us what it looked like. They showed all the accessories. They did not talk about any releases other than there's a regular and digital version, but not what comes in the box.
Mm-hmm.
They did not show like we know it's holiday 2020, but we don't know a date or anything.
Yeah.
And big thing, there's no price.
Right.
We have no price on it whatsoever. And do we know, is it a 1 terabyte hard drive? Have they specifically said that?
We have no idea.
Yeah, we know nothing.
We know it's an SSD.
Right, but other than that, we know nothing else. Like that presentation at the end, hyping us up towards this console announcement, we got nothing at the end.
Right.
And I was left kind of disappointed.
Because I was ready to go like pre-order the thing.
And there's
Yeah.
we can't pre-order it because we don't know anything
The
about
moment
it.
they have a price, they'll have a pre-order.
Right.
Now, there was some accidental releases. I'm doing air quotes because I don't know if there was accidental or if it was just like a mock-up. But they did have some prices listed. Now, we don't know how true these prices are, but I think they were listed as like almost like $600, $700.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. Like if it's that much money, I'm not buying that day one.
That was
a
like
lot.
that was original PS3.
Yeah, which I didn't buy day one
Yeah.
because that was a ridiculous price.
What was it, like $800 for 80 gigs or something?
Well, it originally launched with a 20 gig and a 60 gig. And I want to say the 20 gig was 400 and the 60 gig was 600.
Oh, I think it was more than that.
No, it was. I remember it being 600.
Okay, but anyways,
Yeah. Well, back like 10 years ago. Oh no, not 10 years ago. Like 13 years ago,
Yeah.
when the PS3 launched. Like
Right.
$600 was probably about like much higher than it is now.
Yeah.
Much
Right.
higher than it was then.
but then prices went down on systems.
They did.
PS4, what did that launch at?
400.
400?
400.
Which was a really good price for a new console.
Right. And I'm hoping that they take that into consideration because the PS3 did not sell
But the
well.
PS4 Pro is still 400 right now.
Right.
Right, but that's the PS4 Pro.
The
Yeah.
PS4 by itself is what, 200, 250?
Yeah, something like that.
But for them to release, I don't know.
But also another thing is
Yeah.
they're releasing this console, but also supporting their PS4.
Yeah.
So they're still going to release all this stuff, not all of it, but a majority of games and stuff like that is still for PS4. You're going to be able to play with your friends on the PS4 and the PS5 and back and forth and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that was something they didn't do on the PS3 to
Right.
PS4 because there was a difference enough in quality. that
Right.
They you
Yeah.
know, but
So
But they did support the PS2 for a long time while the PS3 was out.
just because of the install base.
Right. But that might be the same thing here too because the PS4 has a ridiculous install base.
mhm,
The PS3 did not.
mhm.
Because we can argue about console wars and whatnot, but like Sony did not win that generation, the
No.
PS3, Xbox 360, Wii generation?
Mm-mm.
No.
It was all Wii U.
Wii, not Wii U.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Nobody won with the Wii U. Yeah, so I don't know. And it comes down to, I was talking with Lambo when we watched the presentation, like, are we going to be day one buyers? And I have to say, like, I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got no listing of official games that are going to be available at launch. We know, like, holiday 2020 titles.
Yeah.
But are they launch titles? Are they going to be a little bit later? I don't know what's coming in the box.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything else about the system. And the most important thing is price.
Mm-hmm.
Because if this thing ends up being, like, over $500, I am not a day one buyer.
No.
There's no way.
Everyone's going to continue to play on our PS4. There's going to be that, 15% of the community is going to upgrade.
Right.
But everyone else is going to, like, well, I might as well just wait. I'm still playing this almost the same things. There might be some select titles like Horizon 2 or...
But that's not even coming out right away.
Right.
So, yeah, why not wait? And they have to give us some incentive to upgrade right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that incentive ends up being a lower price.
Right.
So, Lambo, what do you think about being a day one buyer?
I'm going for it as long as it's relatively affordable.
Right.
So what's relatively affordable for you? What's the price cutoff?
I think the highest I'm gonna go is $550.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, like, my highest is 500, so we're around the same spot.
Yeah.
I'm about the same.
Because, and I said differently in our other video that I didn't put up yet. I'm probably gonna go for the disc version.
Oh yeah. Because I
Which is another thing.
Yeah.
The disc drive-less version is probably going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
But how much cheaper? Like, it has to be a very decent amount for me to actually consider, like, well, maybe I should do that.
I'm gonna say it's 100. It would
100
have to
cheaper?
be. Yeah. 100 cheaper.
It depends. I don't know, but I imagine at least 100 cheaper, if not maybe even a little more. It depends on how much stuff like gets taken out of it aside from the disc drive,
Right.
or what else. It's gonna be manufacturing costs and everything. And
Yeah.
blah, blah. But the only thing, and I brought this up to Lambo, like with the digital version. The digital version totally has to be there for people who are almost all digital this generation or who never had a PS4.
Right.
Because if they're going to spout like backwards compatibility for the system, I'm not going to get a disc with PS5 because I want to I got to be able to put Persona 5 Royal in the PS5 to keep playing it.
Right.
So I have to go with the disc version. I can't go discless. And I mean, when I get the PS5, I'm not going to keep my PS4
Right.
because hopefully the PS5 runs quieter than my PS4 does trying to run Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh
or
my
Doom.
God.
It's like a freaking jet engine.
I was playing Warzone the other day.
Y'all gotta open it up and clean the dust out.
That doesn't help. I've done
Y'all
it.
gotta do it.
What?
Ah.
No, that's actually not the issue.
Yeah?
I've looked into it.
Yeah.
It's not the issue. It's literally the older PS4s just like they sound like that because they get so warm playing the newer games.
I have a PS4 Pro. I was playing Warzone, and this thing was about to take off. I was like scared.
See, mine's quiet. Mine's quiet. Mine
Yours also doesn't take discs without you like force feeding it.
No. I just have to slide it in a little bit.
Yeah,
That's why I gotta
no.
poke
Yeah,
it.
sure.
I gotta poke it.
Make it sound better than it is. We had to rip yours apart to figure out how to get discs in it.
Hey, it's cool.
But and I've thought over the past few years of getting a PS4 Pro just because of how loud my system gets because it's almost annoying. Like almost bothers me. I have to crank up the volume just to drown it out. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say about being a day one buyer until like we get a price and everything and more specifics. And hopefully in the like coming weeks, maybe in the next month, we get some more info.
Right.
But I feel like the beginning and ending of that presentation was disappointing. GTA 5 to start, and then show the console, but
Yeah. Actually, it's really funny. On that last shot of the console, it's like PS5, and then to the two systems, the controller, and there was this weird open white area that they could have just totally thrown a price.
Yeah,
and
I
was like, there's this negative space.
Yeah.
It's not good. And they just never showed one.
And honestly, that system just looks pretty hard to take apart. So if you do have issues with it and you're going to try to do it yourself, it doesn't look like you're going to be able to. And I only know, didn't they talk about actually having a hard drive slot? Or was that Xbox? I forget. Someone talked about how you're going to have a slot you can put an expandable drive.
Given how the PS3 and PS4 worked with like being able to swap out drives, I would be really disappointed if the PS5 didn't have some somewhat easy capability to do it. Because does the PS4 just have a slot, or do you have to take like the top off?
You gotta take the top off, and you gotta do like a little couple screws, and that's it. I mean, it's really simple.
Yeah, the PS3 was the same way, where there was like a door and it was a
Yeah.
couple screws and everything.
Yeah.
But I would be really, really surprised if they didn't allow you to update the drive on that. But if it's like a single terabyte SSD, then I don't see a reason to update it for a while.
I don't know. A lot of these games,
Oh,
like even Warzone. If you're gonna bring back Warzone, like
make it less than 200 gigs of space.
oh my god. And we'll talk about this during our actual monthly podcast, but Destiny 2 as well is huge.
And every time you have to update Destiny 2, you have to re-download the whole freaking game.
But yeah.
This is why I don't play
But
Destiny.
no, but they're gonna fix that though on the new one.
I know they are. I know they are. But
Yeah.
it's just
So you don't have to, like, updates are gonna be as simple as they are on the Switch, which
I hope so.
Oh my
because
I love updates on the Switch. You know,
done.
yeah.
But like games are huge now, and they're going to get even bigger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're going to need a lot of space.
I'm thinking this is gonna be the generation of cloud storage for games though too. Yeah.
Yeah, but and I'll always make this argument.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard sell unless they really if there's just a better infrastructure of internet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the way internet works here in this country, you've got people who don't have any access to it. You've got people who have access to it, but it's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we've had years where the internet is complete trash,
Yep.
and we can't even play online games together because we can't connect.
Right.
Because God forbid there be a NAT type error.
That was bad. That made me so angry.
2 out of the 3 months of summer, we couldn't play any games online together because we could not connect.
Yeah. I could play him online. You could play him online, but
But we
couldn't
couldn't
play
enjoy it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, towards the end of this generation, I could see it being a possibility,
Mm-hmm.
but also with the idea that PlayStation Now did their whole trying to stream games and everything, and we know how well that worked. And Google Stadia, we know how well that's working. I don't foresee a cloud storage streaming system for this stuff for a while. But it's definitely going to be easy to download your stuff again.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I mean, that's fairly easy on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wonder almost if they could develop, and this would be like, and this is me being really speculative here,
Mhm.
like a compression system, sort of like, like when you zip something in a zip file,
See, that's a good idea.
because on the Switch you archive something, but
Yeah.
you technically just delete it.
But you
kinda.
don't. But it leaves little remnants of it there.
Well, it leaves the all the actual stuff. Then if you just re-download it real quick,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a faster download than re-downloading the whole thing.
But if you could make something even half of its size at this point, that
Yeah.
would save people a ton of space.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean that's my big thing on PS4 is I delete games to make space for new ones, and then I go back and I'm like, do I really want to re-download this?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And
is it
for people with data caps, if you're downloading 180 gig game,
There's your data cap.
Yeah.
And again that's another thing too is
Yeah.
data caps in general. I don't foresee a big change in all of this until there's a reformatting of the internet infrastructure in this country.
Mhm.
Right.
So because they've been doing streaming gaming in Japan, they did it on the Switch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You could stream Resident Evil 7 and Assassin's Creed Origin or Odyssey. I forget which one. Might have been Origin. Was that the Roman one? Origin?
Oh, Odyssey was the Sparta. And...
Oh, was that Sparta? And then
Yeah.
Origin was the newest one, right?
No, Odyssey was the newest one. Origins was before that.
Oh,
That was
is that Egypt?
Egyptish.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of them was streamable on the Switch in Japan. I don't remember. But
Yeah.
they can do that in Japan. You know why? There's freaking Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yeah.
So
That was another thing they didn't really show in this conference. I mean, pretty much every game was brand new. It was the first time we saw it. We didn't really see anything that we saw before, except for
Ghostwire,
Ghostwire and Deathloop.
Yeah.
Everything else is
brand new.
yeah.
I think you're on GTA 5. No, you're right. You're right. They did spend a lot of time doing some new stuff, and that's probably what made it really, really interesting. Aside from the fact that a lot of titles do kind of start to blend in your brain.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and we did forget a really, really big one: the new NBA.
was that in there?
That ray tracing.
Yeah.
No, seriously, was there an NBA game? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
They had that one guy.
That sweat.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember it. Okay.
I just had to mention the sweat.
I do remember that. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. We don't play sports games.
You can see the ray tracing through the sweat.
Oh, can I bring up one other thing that I saw an article, and I had the same thought during the presentation, but I didn't say anything because I thought it was just crazy. Did anyone else think that some of the people, when they showed them on camera, they didn't look like real people, and they looked a little bit like CG models out of, like, Horizon or something? Did anyone else think that every now and then? Like, is this a real person?
There's a low quality of them shooting it from their living room.
Yeah, and that's what people are saying. It's like they don't have makeup on, so they're going to be a little glistening.
Yeah.
But it made it look a little bit like they were a model out of a game, and I'm just like, is this real?
Now that
Yeah.
would have been amazing.
If they
Yeah.
did that in the end,
And then
They're
they
just like-
released at the end that, like, everything you've seen was PlayStation 5, even the people.
Yeah, built in dreams, and you're all be like, "What?"
and then it's like Dreams available right away on PS5. Like, yeah,
Now that would have been big, and I would have been a day one buyer then.
yeah. Like, if
No,
they,
you can build a PS5 inside Dreams and play it.
Play your PS5 on
Yeah.
your PS5.
well, I mean, people are doing that in Minecraft, aren't they? Where they're making like Game Boys and stuff. And
Yeah.
you can play,
Yeah,
So
yes.
like, it's not out of the realm of
I
possibility.
mean, even in dreams.
Yeah, and it's just. Anyway, I think. Did we
Yeah.
miss anything from Slotad about like what he had to say? I figure we stopped looking at him.
I don't know. There's a bunch of grumbles and stuff. I don't remember.
He also said we need the price.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with $500, $600 if it comes with that headset. No, I'm not okay with that because I don't need a fancy headset, and if my regular headset that I have now just plugs into it, I don't need a headset.
It looks
But-
like it will.
But even still, like, I like my Astros. I would rather go with Astro.
Mm.
So
Headsets are standardized now, though, too. So.
Mhm.
Yeah. He also said the PS5 design looks fine, but the console looks huge, which the comparison, it does look big given the PS4 and everything. And
you also mentioned about the camera and Astrobot, but no VR.
yeah, he's also bummed that there was no launch date, and it's going to be expensive, and to pay a pre-order monthly is nice. Yeah, like
Yeah, like we're getting down to the wire. Why can't I pre-order it now or put some money down towards it? It's going to get to the point where
in all honesty, it might be because of everything that's been going on in the world that their
Right.
production is slowed down, and they're not sure what it's going to look like come the fall.
which then in that case, it would be sad. Just push back the release date.
They can do a winter release. Like the Switch did it.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
can do like a February,
rocked.
March, April,
Yeah.
like somewhere in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, people are going to be spending that Christmas money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing from Slotad is he might start playing Soulsborne games because that Demon Soul game looks lit. I don't think he
Alright,
used
cool.
lit, but I'm. What did he actually say? Oh, pretty AF.
Yeah, okay.
I wasn't far off. He's right. That Demon Soul
Yeah.
game does look pretty AF. But I'm not gonna.
Gen Z talk.
Yeah, I'm not going out and torturing myself.
No.
No. I've played Demon Souls. I played the original on PS3 and I tried. And that's why I don't play Dark Souls games. It's why I don't play Bloodborne. And it's why Neo made me almost break my controller. But anybody else have anything else to say about it?
No, I'm pretty much down though.
I mean,
like,
even if we're not day
Yeah.
one buyers, are we buying it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Every one of us is going to buy it. I think Dad might be on board
yeah, eventually.
eventually. I mean,
Eventually.
probably like, 5 years after it comes out
Yeah.
like he did with the PS4.
But the nice thing is we can still play with him. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still all that, like, inter-ecosystem crossplay, which is awesome.
We can keep playing GTA 5 together.
Yeah.
We can keep playing Battlefront together.
Yes.
Like there's all
Yeah.
and that's what's nice about it, and I'm glad they're doing that.
Mhm.
But
I really want the backwards compatibility to eventually be a thing, and the extent of the backwards compatibility is going to be like a really interesting.
Which they have a big gap against, well, a low gap, I should say.
Yeah,
Xbox has a huge gap over them.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw,
yeah.
yeah.
every generation is playable.
On the new, yeah.
Yeah, but okay.
And when you even right now, if I go on my Xbox One, there are so many great Xbox 360 and Xbox games available to download for like nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so if I want to spend like $7 and get like a really cool game from
And that's like what
10 years ago,
that is the one thing that makes me want to get the Series X over the PlayStation.
Right.
Because my PS3, my Vita, like I've got so many classics downloaded on those systems that like I have to boot up my PS3
Right.
or my Vita to play them.
The Series X, you have one big ass
Just go for it.
It's okay.
Just go for it.
One big block for the
Yeah.
Xbox Series X. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how big, but it's probably smaller than having your Xbox, your Xbox 360, your Xbox One, and the Series X.
Right. Because right now, if I want to play everything in PlayStation's library, I need everything but a PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
That's the only system I do not need. But like even PSP to Vita, you cannot play every PSP game on the Vita
Yeah.
because not all of them got released digitally, and the Vita doesn't have the same slot. And like, Sony, just make it possible. I don't care if I have to buy them again. I don't care if you do the Nintendo thing and charge me like $1 to import it onto the new system. Just let me play my PS1 classics on the PS5.
Even if it's at least just digital stuff, it would be cool.
Yeah.
Because we know the capability is there. PlayStation Now exists.
Mm-hmm.
There's
You
PS2
know.
games on the PS4.
Yeah.
Like, why can't that come over? Actually, it will because it's backwards compatible, right?
Right.
So I should be able to import my downloads onto that.
Yeah.
But what about the discs? Like, you already own it. Why do I have to buy it again?
Because there's no way for them to make money off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they charge like an up convert charge like that. But
Like you said, that's fine.
give me
Yeah.
charge me $1. I'm fine with it. I
Yeah.
know I own the game already, but here's the deal. Most of those PS1 classics were $6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will pay an extra $1, charge me $7 to play like Suikoden 1 or Suikoden 2, which actually would probably be $11, but I don't care. Or Xenogears. Or you know what? Like, charge me a fee to get an emulator on the PS5 to play all those PS2 discs I
Yeah.
have.
That would be actually that might be kind of cool. Yeah, like the digital. You buy a digital emulator. For
Yeah.
the,
And like maybe even like some sort of physical adapter for like the PlayStation Vita and the PSP games, you know, just plug them in there and
yeah,
plug them on my
yeah.
TV.
All Sega Genesis style.
Yeah.
It'll make a tiny robot.
And I'll form the head. My argument with that is I don't think that's going to work because the PS3 did all kinds of adapters for
This
the
is
PS2,
true, yeah.
and it did not do well.
Yeah.
I own a controller adapter and a memory card adapter for the PS3. I don't know where they are because I only use them a tiny bit.
That's fine. Yeah, that's cool.
But it's just there's so much they could do with it, and I it might be because the install base for the PS4 was so large and the PS3 wasn't that they're not doing this kind of stuff because why bother? But like it really bothers me when game companies do this. Like Nintendo, it bothers me a little bit too that I have all those virtual console games on my Wii U.
Yeah, I literally just loaded my Wii U up and I put it in storage, and it's kind of sad. But like, I haven't been playing it, but I have hundreds of dollars invested into the
I do too.
digital platform on there.
Yeah.
You know.
It's sad when these systems don't let us do that, and that's why I got to give props to Xbox because
Yeah.
you know
They don't care.
No, they're giving us the capability to play these games again.
But
so.
they have the legacy of the way like PC works though too. Like maybe in the back of their mind that like if I owned Warcraft 2 in 1995, I can play Warcraft 2 today, and there's nothing stopping me.
Yeah.
You know, with my same copy.
So I do have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't seen Xbox's final conference.
Right.
But as of right now, who do you think is going to win this generation?
It's really hard to say only because we don't know enough about what's going on. I mean, I'm going to give it to Nintendo right now because they're freaking killing it.
Oh, yeah.
But I at this point, and I think I've said this for like since the Wii U, like
they're in different spaces.
they're in a different space.
Mm-hmm.
You can almost think of the Switch as the proxy 3DS or DS. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
They knew that they were doing well handheld, so why not just combine the two, which was a good idea. Between Xbox and PlayStation, it's really hard to say.
Unfortunately, I'm kind of leaning. I'm still going to get a PlayStation, but I think Xbox is console wise is better.
We don't know what the Series X does, though. Really,
We know that
A lot.
like we know that on paper it's gonna be a slightly more powered system.
right? I understand,
Yeah.
but I mean, like,
Do we even know what the PlayStation does?
but that's my point. Like, I can't say one way or another, and that's why I'm like, because all we've seen is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And
Form
some of the games.
factor wise, I think the Series X looks sexy.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I know
would
it's
love to have that next to my router and not think it was my router.
yeah. I know it's
How
just
big
like
is
a
your
block.
router that you would confuse that?
It's kind of big.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
you got to
I
get
have
one of those
an ugly
high-end.
router.
You get one of those high-end routers, you know, and
my
it gets all
rout-
those spider legs sticking out there.
See, my router lays flat,
Yeah.
and it's a box with antennas. So
Yeah.
like that's it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna confuse that with my router.
Oh, I got like one of those expensive routers. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like you look like in a space station or something like that.
I can't say one way or the other because
Alright.
we don't know enough about either system. Based on the games that are coming out, my personal like leaning is towards PlayStation, but we haven't seen the Xbox conference yet. I don't know what's coming out for that.
I have some speculations, but we won't talk about it right now.
Yeah, we'll leave that for a later time. But
Yeah.
Lambo, do you have any siding one way or another as to who might come out on
Who
top?
might win ultimately?
Yeah.
It's gonna depend on who captures the imagination of the third party people
Yeah.
the most, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, that seemed to be the biggest decider the last time. It really honestly wasn't the you know, who are you catering to? Xbox Live back in the 360 days
Oh my god.
was the place to be.
Yeah.
Like
You know,
I loved my Xbox 360.
when I go log on now, like all my people on my friends list, like none of them logged on in years.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and it's that 100%. Who has the better infrastructure in terms of the online stuff?
Right. I think it's gonna go to Sony just because they have their foot in the door already. They know what did well with the PS4.
But I'm gonna say Game Pass and stuff is a way better.
It is,
You know.
but you got to get people into the system first. So you've got to have the games. And I'll be honest, Xbox One did not have the games.
No, not
And
any issues,
so, like the Series X is gonna have to. They're gonna have to be there and be like,
Right.
okay, day one, here's these big games you can get. Because I'm not saying the Xbox One didn't have like good games to it, but when it launched, like,
Yeah, it wasn't really anything.
no.
Was it like Rise, Son of Rome, or something like that?
And like
which
Rise
was okay.
was the big title.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wanted to play, and like,
PS4 had like those really indie titles that everyone loved. What was it? Resogun and Contrast.
Yeah.
I loved Contrast.
Yeah.
That was
Resogun was
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And Don't Starve came out really early.
And I'm pretty sure both of them. Well, I think actually both of them were free when they came out.
Yeah, Resogun was because
Yeah.
I have it.
Yeah.
I think Contrast, unless it was like
Yeah.
$5-10, but still like something that small, and it was like their frontlining games that was like, bam.
Yeah. I will say that Xbox doing the backwards compatibility, like, that makes me want to get a Series X because
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool games from the Xbox and 360 I'd love to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Like Lost Odyssey is there for like less than $15.
And that's totally.
you
like,
know,
there were a lot of cool JRPGs
Yeah.
on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
they're all there to download.
I mean, it kind of died off later
Yeah.
on, but
I could also throw the discs in too. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. you
yeah.
know?
And there's that weird Korean first-person dungeon crawling
That you
game.
can still play.
God, I love that game. I don't think it's a Nerdstrodamus year until I bring that game up once. I don't even know what it's called, but
We found it out once. Whatever.
I don't think we ever found the official name. We were just like,
No.
"Is this it?
Yeah.
Is this the game?" So, I think that's it for this discussion.
Yeah.
So, thanks everyone for listening. Let us know what your thoughts are. Like, what did you think of the games?
Mhm.
Are you also a little upset that we know nothing else about the console? Like, no price, no release date. And are you buying it day one, or are you a Series X buyer? Like,
Mhm.
what are you in for, and what would you like to see some of the features be? Like, let us know in the comments, or you can always email us, or tweet at us, or Instagram us.
And you got those dirty puns. Drop those in the comments
Dirty
below.
Oh my god, I thought we were done! But we're Nerdstrodamus everywhere except Twitter, where we're Nerdstrodamus DL for down low. But for this podcast of Nerdstrodamus, I'm Dr. Pants.
Lambo.
I'm Punk.
And we will catch you guys